The women's health companies are fighting. Hi guys, I'm Dr. Rimbi and welcome back to my channel. It is not all pinks and roses and happiness in the world of women's health, and recently that has really been highlighted. So, two companies, and I'm thinking really strongly about whether to say the names or not say the names, but this is publicly available information. But two companies have entered some controversy. This is because, let's call them Company Yellow and Company Blue. Company Blue did some testing on other companies' products, specifically Company Yellow. This was in their laboratories, and they decided that they were going to analyze Company Yellow's product and compare that to what Company Yellow claimed. Now, we're not going to talk about why they would do that. I mean, for me as an outsider looking in, it sounds as though it was part of a PR or marketing strategy. Not necessarily the one that I would go for personally, but hey, I am new in the world of business, so I'm not going to talk too much on this. When Company Blue tested Company Yellow's products, they allegedly found that what Company Yellow was claiming was not the same as what was in their products. They took this information and they complained to the regulators, as well as made it publicly available. So they spoke to a newspaper, got press around the whole thing, and it was published in a newspaper. Now, the uproar and discussion has arisen because, firstly, would that be your go-to marketing strategy? I'm not sure. A lot of the conversations around business marketing is all press is good press. After Company Blue publicized their findings about Company Yellow, it has really opened up a lot of discussion. Part of that discussion is around, firstly, why? Why Company Yellow? Why not a bigger, more established company? Would that have been a way to go? That's been a lot of discussion around this. And so many people have sent me this story like, oh my God, Rimbi, have you seen this? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So part of the discussion is, was this a PR and marketing stunt? If it was, I mean, it's worked, because I had no idea who Company Blue was before the story came out, and people literally sending me this story to comment on or to think about or ask my opinion on it. So it worked in getting Company Blue known, because I knew who Company Yellow was. I did not know who Company Blue was before this. Now I know who both Company Blue and Company Yellow are. So that's another thing. If it was purely for PR and marketing, I want to say that it has worked for Company Blue, even though people might not. I mean, that wouldn't be my marketing strategy of choice. Testing products is expensive. Laboratory time is expensive. Validating those test results is expensive. I wouldn't use my scarce budget as a startup or a small to medium enterprise to test a competitor's items. I would just develop my own products. But that's my personal view. If it was part of a marketing strategy, genuinely, it has worked, because I now know who Company Blue is. The next thing it really highlighted, and part of the talking points, is the fact that I think when I entered business from being a doctor, medical school doesn't teach you about business. It teaches you about looking after people. And it actually taught me, I think, to be a good employee, to be a really good person who follows rules, follows guidelines, and works within those confines. And you expect other people to act accordingly, so to follow those guidelines and kind of work within certain confines. However, entering business, I've learned that that's not always the way. The world doesn't operate within the same rules that I operate in as a doctor, for example. And being able to separate that, to say my work in the NHS or as a doctor is completely separate from when I step into the business realm, and being alert to things like another company testing your products and then publishing those claims across not just social media, but across media, to potentially give themselves publicity, gives you publicity as well because you're also being spoken about, but it also sheds a potential negative light on your product. Like, that's something that I would never even consider to do. So it just shows how business, you need to unlock a whole different way of thinking. And I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. I'm just trying to navigate. Another aspect is the fact that both Company Blue and Company Yellow are currently occupying a small fraction of the market. I mean, you have giants, you have really huge companies which occupy a much bigger market share when it comes to period products. And then it really makes you think, was Company Blue trying to take the other small portion of market share that Company Yellow occupies, as opposed to going for the much bigger market share that other companies occupy, your menstrual health giants? Or did they think, actually, those giants have their established customers, they're not going to move. What we want is the customers that will shop with Company Yellow because they're already our target customers as well. That's something else to consider in terms of how they came to that marketing strategy. I would love to know what you guys think about this in the comments. I would love to have a respectful conversation in the comments about this, because it has been such a huge topic of conversation for those that are within the women's health space, those that are within the period products and period care space. And with Glacy, I mean, I work with companies that do this, so it has been a talking point, and it will be really interesting to hear what you guys think. Was it a good move for Company Blue to test Company Yellow's products, find a discrepancy, share that discrepancy, and publicize it potentially as part of their marketing strategy? And in terms of for Company Yellow, what would you think? What do you think are the right next steps for them in this kind of chess game of business? How would you respond to that if you were Company Yellow? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching and for getting to this part of the video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.